Ladies and gentlemen, podcaster Candace Owens just got hit with a lawsuit from across the pond from the French president for saying that the French president's wife is actually a man. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some of this straight game.
Black chat. Life is like those cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY, Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, click on what appears to be the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, Candace Owens, who used to one time be on the Trump train, staunch conservative, has now been hit with a lawsuit from the French president, ladies and gentlemen. This is, like I said, it's getting wilder and wilder with a lot of these podcasters, ladies and gentlemen. You know, when you understand what she just did, and for the reason that people are saying why she did it, it's totally irresponsible, but it's really, truly, honestly not worth it. Because now you have to defend yourself against a lawsuit when it was totally avoidable, if you will. So like I said, your boy DELRAY, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, let's get into it. France's president, Emmanuel Macron, right? And the first lady, Brigitte Macron, have officially filed a lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit against American conservative commentator Candace Owens. Wow. The suit filed in Delaware, a superior court on Wednesday, accuses Owens of launching what the Macrons are described as a campaign of global humiliation. Global humiliation, ladies and gentlemen. Spreading false and dehumanizing claims about France's first lady, including allegations, ladies and gentlemen, that she was born as a man and living under a false identity. I mean, how do people conjure up the nerve to say something like that without any real kind of proof, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, come on, man. Come on. I'm sure what Candace Owens is going to say is that I said that because that was popular opinion. And like I said, in dealing with the Diddy lawsuit with NBC Universal, that's what NBC Universal is basically saying, that we didn't say that. We were going by what people were saying in the media or what was already said. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that's going to work. This lawsuit right here is going to be an important one as far as how people deal with people and the things that they say about people. But you got a president and his wife filing a defamation lawsuit against Candace Owens. So you got to understand, they're saying they've been globally humiliated. And she's been spreading false and dehumanizing claims about France's first lady, including allegations that she was born as a male and living under a false identity. Man, like I said, here we go. You know, and the lawsuit basically is very detailed. It's very detailed. It's a 22 count. Listen, not 1 count, not 2 count, not 3 count, not 5 counts, right? But a 22 count complaint reported, right, highlights Owens' repeated mentions of Brigitte Macron as Jean-Michel Trogneux, right? Jean-Michel Trogneux, her older brother's name, ladies and gentlemen. So Candace Owens is calling Brigitte Macron as Jean-Michel Trogneux. her older brother's name, right? Across multiple platforms, not just her own platform, across multiple platforms. This has been reiterated, basically, right? It's 22 counts. It's serious. It's when they, when a law firm or somebody sues on you and they come up with 22 counts, they're trying to send a message, right? Across multiple platforms, including YouTube, X, formerly as Twitter, and Instagram. According to the legal filing, Candace Owens monetized these claims to grow her audience and stir outrage. Claims the French government has categorically denied and described as completely baseless. I want you to understand something, ladies and gentlemen. This is the same thing that Tisa Tells has been doing, right? In a similar way, but like I said, nobody has taken legal action as of yet, right? Like I said, once again, when you think about the big picture, people making these salacious claims in order to build their channel, clout chasing, it's simply not worth it. I mean, I think, like I said, once again, what we try to do over here on Straight Game TV is just give you the facts. It's okay if not as many people check it out, because if they do check it out and you're not telling the truth and it's something damaging, we see right here, right now, what could possibly happen. And it's happening from the French president and first lady. So once again, according to the legal filing, Candace Owens monetized these claims to grow her audience and stir outrage. Claims the French government has categorically denied and described as completely baseless. But yet, she had no proof, but yet was saying it. Like I said, I wouldn't even if it was something that people were saying, as intelligent as we want to think Candace Owens is, right? I wouldn't even have reiterated that. I wouldn't even have discussed that, because like I said, once again, there's no way to prove it. So why would one say something like that unless there was information about the wife, Brigitte Macron, unless there was information that would suggest that were true from that perspective? There's not even that, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a claim that, from what they understand, has just been spread over multiple platforms. And Candace Owens has been just riding with it, right? Listen, the lawsuit states, this is very important, the lawsuit, every time the Macrons leave their home, they do so knowing that countless people have heard and many believe these vile fabrications. They basically saying it is evasive, right? Invasive, dehumanizing, and deeply unjust. They say it is invasive, dehumanizing, and deeply unjust. And they want this to stop. Like I said, 22 counts in a lawsuit seems like they're pretty serious about this. But the question that we have to ask, ladies and gentlemen, is why? Why does someone need someone to be something other than themselves in order to try to get clicks and views when, like I said, you can cover 10 different things? Hey, it might not do as well as the last couple of videos you put out, but at least you're being consistent at what you provide. A source of sound and good information that's easily corroborated. And like I said, a lot of times people stay away from the truth. Okay, cool. And they rather tell a lie. This is where the lie gets you. It gets you a lawsuit thrown from across the pond, which I mean, when I say across the pond, I mean from France, into a Delaware courtroom with 22 counts against Candace Owens. And it doesn't matter what she has to come out and say now, because I'm sure she didn't even expect this lawsuit. Oh, they didn't want her. They hit hard. And now it's like, she wants to talk about it. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. Now you have to go and explain to the judge, or have your lawyer explain to the president and the first lady of France, France's lawyer, how you were sorry and you didn't mean it, but the damage has already been done from that perspective. At least that's what they're saying. They're saying it's dehumanizing and deeply unjust, right? Candace Owens' response. What's her response going to be? I mean, what can she say, right? And this is basically a source close to Candace Owens told media outlets that she plans to address the lawsuit on her show basically tonight or tomorrow, right? Interestingly, the source also claimed that Owens has not been officially served legal papers. So she hasn't been served with the lawsuit, but once again, I'm sure that she probably will, unless she's trying to duck it. Right? Unless she's trying to duck and avoid being served the lawsuit, ladies and gentlemen. Furthermore, Candace Owens' team urges that this case is an attack on free speech and independent journalism, claiming that she attempted to reach out to the Macrons for comment multiple times and was ignored. Ladies and gentlemen, see what I mean? That's no excuse. They don't have to address anything about their personal life that's basically not even true, once again, but we're going to see where this goes and see if it has any teeth. Like I said, it's 22 counts. So like I said, they said this isn't about defamation. Candace Owens' team says this is not about defamation. It's about silencing political dissent. But is it really? Is this about silencing political dissent? Or is it about defamation? Chime in and tell me what you guys think. Like I said, you hear what's going on. And so let's look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is this. Now, let's zoom out for a minute. This lawsuit is rare. It involves a sitting world leader, ladies and gentlemen. A sitting world leader is suing a podcaster. The French president is suing a United States born and raised podcaster, ladies and gentlemen. Right? So what we have to understand, two figures from different continents clashing over speech, truth, and reputation. Right? So here are the core issues at play. Can public figures sue in the U.S. for defamatory statements made abroad or online? Right? Can public figures sue in the U.S. for defamatory statements made abroad or online? That's one hurdle that they're going to have to cross, if you will. Where is the line between free speech and defamation, especially when it involves false claims about gender identity and public deception? So where's that line going to be drawn? And also, does our social media virality, right, going viral, right? Does social media virality create real world harm that justifies legal recourse? So this is actually what's going to be at play when talking about this lawsuit and going to court for it. There's also the international angle. Will American courts entertain this lawsuit filed by foreign leaders? And if so, how far will it go? Because they're not United States citizens, right? I don't know as to why they sued in Delaware. Sometimes the lawyers know things that we don't, and that's the reason why they basically sued in Delaware. It might be some kind of way that they understand the law involving foreign citizens suing American citizens for anything. But defamation, I've never really heard of that, so we're going to see what happens with that, right? Candace Owens may argue she's being targeted by a foreign government. The Macrons argue they're protecting their dignity and the truth. Regardless of the outcome, this lawsuit could have massive implications for how influencers and commentators speak about international political figures and how defamation law crosses borders in the digital world. We're going to be watching this one closely, like I said, as well as the Diddy situation involving NBC and Ariel Mitchell and Courtney Burgess. Like I said, it's a lot of people filing defamation lawsuits. Like I said, there is, Ice-T, the rapper, said this one time before. It's freedom of speech, but just watch what you say. You know what I mean? It's freedom of speech, but just watch what you say. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you found this episode insightful, don't forget to subscribe. leave a review, or you can follow us basically at Straight Game TV. And like I said, more importantly, this is going to be interesting. This one right here is more interesting than anything because, like I said, I don't think Candace Owens seen this coming. But here it is. Here it is. And like I said, the Macrons don't seem like they playing games. They sued in Delaware. For what reason, we don't know. And I'm sure that's going to be revealed soon. Like I said, chime in and tell me, guys, what you think about this. Do you think that the Macrons are right? Or do you think Candace Owens is right? Your boy DELRAY, Straight Game.
Life is like some cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.